चाहिँ प्रद्युत बस्ने छेत्री I'm 24 years old and म चाहिँ अहिले टोकियोमा काम गरिरहेको छु एज अ बिजनेस कन्सल्टेन्ट म चाहिँ जापानिज कम्पनीमा अहिले मिराई कन्सल्टिङ भन्ने एउटा जापानिज कम्पनीमा अहिले काम गरिरहेको छु अनि जस्तै मेरो पछाडिको साइन जस्तै म APU लास्ट इयर ग्रेजुएट भएर यसपालि लास्ट इयरदेखि नै म काम गर्न सुरु गरेको सो मैले पढेको चाहिँ मैले म्यानेजमेन्ट अनि त्यस अकाउन्टिङमा मेजर गरेको हो त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ मैले अहिले गरिरहेको काम चाहिँ मिराई कन्सल्टिङ भनेको चाहिँ हजुरको जापानको स्मल टु मिड साइज बिजनेसहरूलाई सपोर्ट गर्ने एउटा कन्सल्टिङ फर्म हो मेरो टार्गेटमा त US अस्ट्रेलिया UK युरोपहरू पनि थियो तर जापानमा किन जाने भनेको चाहिँ आफ्नो कम्फर्ट जोनभन्दा हल्का स्टेप आउट गरेर नयाँ एक्सपिरियन्स गेन गर्नको लागि अब मेरो ब्याचमेट्सहरू मेरो हाई स्कुल फ्रेन्ड्सहरू सबै US अस्ट्रेलियाहरू गइरहेको छ सो वाइ नट ट्राई समथिङ डिफ्रेन्ट भनेर चाहिँ मैले APU ट्राई गरेको APUमा चाहिँ हजुर एकदम मल्टिकल्चरल वर्क स्टडिङ इन्भाइरोमेन्ट हुन्छ नेपाली मात्रै नभएर देयर्स लट लाइक हाफ अफ देम आर इन्टरनेसनल स्टुडेन्ट्स एन्ड हाफ अफ देम आर जापानिज स्टुडेन्ट्स अनि त्यो इन्भाइरोमेन्टमा जब काम गरिन्छ नि हजुरको सफ्ट स्किल्सहरू अझै इन्हान्स हुँदै टिममा कसरी काम गरिन्छ अनि त्यसपछि कसरी एकअर्काको अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ बुझ्ने कसरी नयाँ आइडियाजहरू निकाल्ने त्यस्तो कुराहरूमा चाहिँ प्र्याक्टिकली चाहिँ कसरी अप्लाई गर्न सकिन्छ भने चाहिँ हाम्रो मेन चाहिँ मेरो लागि APUबाट सबभन्दा ठुलो मैले पाएको गुण भनौँ न
जापानमा आउन मन थियो जापानिज यता पढ्न मन थियो तर इङ्ग्लिस स्पेसिसमा पढ्न मन थियो अनि ठ्याक्कै APUमा चाहिँ जापानमा आएर इङ्ग्लिस स्पेसिसमा पढ्न पाउनलाई त्यही भएर म यता आएको फर्स्ट इयरमा चाहिँ यता आउँदाखेरि AP हाउस भन्ने हुन्छ अनि हामी चाहिँ AP हाउसमा बस्नै पर्छ फर्स्ट इयर जतिको लागि अनि त्यतिमा नै हामीले यति धेरै मान्छेहरू भेट्छौँ अरू कन्ट्रीहरूबाट अनि सबैजना साथी सबैजना क्लोज हुन्छौँ त्यति बेला नै अनि मेरो पनि अहिले धेरै नै विदेशी साथीहरू छन् जापानमा आएपछि ल्याङ्ग्वेज त चाहिन्छ है लाइक यता मैले नि ल्याङ्ग्वेज त पढेर आएको थिएँ तर APUमा आउन भयो भने चाहिँ ल्याङ्ग्वेज नचाहे नै हुन्छ भन्छ किनकि फर्स्टदेखि नै सिकाउँछ APUमा तर यदि हामी ल्याङ्ग्वेज नपढेर आयो भने चाहिँ तल बाइतो पार्ट टाइम गर्न चाहिँ अति नै गाह्रो हुन्छ सो पार्ट टाइममा इन्टरभ्यू पनि जापानिजमा दिन्छ अनि कोहीले चाहिँ इन्टरभ्यू नलिने पार्ट टाइम यतिकै घुस्ने मान्छेहरू नै हुन्छ तर त्यस्तोमा पनि इन्टरेक्सन गर्नलाई त्यस्तोमा जापानिज आएन भने चाहिँ धेरै गाह्रो मलाई चाहिँ मोस्टली जापान त पहिलादेखि नै राम्रो लाग्थ्यो लाइक जापानको मान्छेहरूको क्यारेक्टर नै कस्तो युनिक लाग्छ सबैजनालाई माया गर्ने सबैजनालाई अपनाउने जस्तो लाग्छ त्यही भएर मलाई जापान चाहिँ आएको राम्रो जस्तो लाग्छ
बेस्ट अप्सन भन्न खोज्दाखेरि अन्त हुन्छ नि बिकज नेपालमा त त्यस्तो साह्रो टेन्डेन्सी छैन नि त नि जापानमा पढ्न आउने भनेर त्यही भएर कहाँ कहाँ छ भनेर म आफै खोज्दै अनि त्यसपछि ड्याडले पनि एक्चुअली रिकमेन्ड गर्नुभयो अनि कहिले पनि नसोचेको कन्ट्री हेर्न यु लाइक पिपल मलाई एकदम आई लाइक पिपल सो आई वाज लाइक ओके वाइ नट ट्राई समथिङ डिफ्रेन्ट भनेर अनि जापान हेरेँ अनि जापानमा हेर्दै वेयर इज अ गुड प्लेस भनेर हेरेँ अनि हेर्दै अब अनि त्यसपछि एउटा दिमागमा आयो ओके त्यहाँ जाने हो भने एउटा ल्याङ्ग्वेज त प्रब्लम हुन्छ किनभने यु नेभर नो हैन सो सक्यो अनि त्यसपछि यसो हेर्दै आई फाउन्ड दिस युनिभर्सिटी उनी उनीहरूको वेबसाइटमा ब्रोसरमा चाहिँ 50% इन्टरनेसनल एन्ड 50% जापानिज भनेर लेखेको थियो कि विच इज अमेजिङ अनि ग्रेट डिल भनौँ न मेरो लागि चाहिँ अनि त्यही भएर आई थिङ्क आई जस्ट अप्लाइड एन्ड थेरापी हान्ने बित्तिकै पनि भइहाल्यो अनि स्ट्रेट यहाँ आउने मान्छेहरू जति उनीहरू टु बी अनेस्ट होइन पढ्नको लागि भनेर त्यो सेम पढ्ने मात्र भनेको मेन्टालिटी लिएर आउँदैन कि दिस प्लेस इज मोर अबाउट कनेक्टिङ विथ पिपल हुन्छ नि अनि कति धेरै लाइक यु मिट सो मेनी पिपल फ्रम सो मेनी प्लेसेस विथ सो मच ब्याकग्राउन्ड हुन्छ नि अनि त्यो भनेको धेरै चिजहरू धेरै ठाउँहरूबाट पाइन्न सो त्यसलाई चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले सोचेर अब यसको यो सक्सेस रेट पनि हाई छ
APU had a great amount of international students, and surprisingly, they also provide English-based program, which we study fully in English, which is not very common to be found in Japan because there's not a lot of universities that really offer English-based program. And I believe that APU already running there for almost 20 years. That's why I was like very confident enough to enroll in this university because they have a great amount of experience on handling an English-based programs. Compared to my country, I just think that the education there is not as developed as Japan. And I also admire Japanese working culture. They're very disciplined, and I want to train myself to be more disciplined because back in my home country, I could not learn outside classes. It's more about inside classes through books because my parents is there. But when I go studying abroad, that of course I need to take care of myself. So by that, like having English-based program and have a education outside of the campus as well is a perfect opportunity for me to enhance my life and be more independent. That's why I chose APU.
Namaste. I'm Naman Valecha from India, and I'm currently studying in Ritsumeikan APU, and this is my third year, and I am an international management student, which is APM, Asia Pacific Management student, and I'm living in Beppu for the last 2 years. The best part about Ritsumeikan is that the way education is taught in India, in Nepal and other South Asian countries. In Japan, my motive was to experience my education more than to learn. So here we have so many different things in APU, so many experiences, so many jobs, so many events, so many classes and workshops which make you experience that thing. So I'm learning management, right? So I'm not just learning management in my class, but I'm experiencing it, the management. So suppose I give you an example, I'm learning about how to work in an international environment. So there are different activities, different circles, different events which are open to all the students at APU, where you can experience that work culture environment, where you don't just learn management in class, but also experience that thing. So that was my major motive.
I had a very high expectation attending APU. Of course, with everything I've seen about APU, all the videos I've watched, hearing from senpais that I've known who have attended APU, I know that they do provide a lot of opportunities for studies outside of classes. My roommate is actually from Nepal. And I know he's a very hardworking and dedicated person, Rai, if you're watching. But I think one of the lessons that I've learned being in APU is to be able to put myself out there. Without hesitation, it's important to try different things.
We have been introduced to different fields of international relations. This is our major, and one of them is, of course, international law, and we also are part of international law seminar, and as a part of that seminar, we've been exposed to different projects as well as competitions, or we also have debate-style moot court competitions, which are simulations of courts, international courts. So there are different opportunities available for students not only learn within the class using the books, but also practice the things that we have learned. And one of the opportunities was the International Humanitarian Law role play competition First, it was organized in the national level by International Community of the Red Cross of Japan, and we had an opportunity to participate there, and due to our teamwork and our collaborative efforts, we were able to have a nice result in that national round of the competition.
With APU for 10 years. I started my career here in 2013, and this year is celebration of my 10th year tenure at APU. Japan is an Asian country, and maybe we are different from many Western universities that we still embrace so much of Asian value. That is what the Nepalese parents still value it and still longing for. So even as a professor, I have been working in many different parts of the world, in Europe, in Australia, in Southeast Asia, in Japan, China. But I cannot know everything. And the most beautiful thing here is I learn a lot from my students. And of course, I would not know much about the Mount Everest, about Nepal, about heritage, and about many things if I don't expose myself to Nepalese students.
True.
So here we have a learning community where faculty and students learn from each other. And it's sort of a cultural laboratories that we offer that opportunity to learn.
Part of international relations, where of course students learn about interstate relationship from political or other angles. And here I teach from a legal dimension, international law. Now, why does Japan provide a unique place to study international law? Well, recently more and more studies on the teaching of international law, and there is lack of people that come from Asia with an Asian legal mindset, not common law or UK, US based law, which are also taught in Singapore or Australia. No, the system that Japan adapted from different Western countries also incorporated them into the Japanese context. We need people with different background knowledge that comes from different parts of the world. So I think Japan places at an interesting location to strengthen the Asian values while adapting and blending with the Western knowledge. So I think that's the unique points that we provide in our education.
university has a responsibility to educate, number one. that's the first response. The second responsibility, but it doesn't have to be every university, it's, you know, I would say 1 out of 10 or 1 or 2 out of 10 is research, okay? At APU, we have a third responsibility, and maybe it's our biggest responsibility because of what we've done, is to enable students from all over the world to integrate into Japan really well through language, through culture, through just getting used to the place. You know, you come here for 4 years, you start to understand Japan, and also to be an international example, if I can call it, for the students that are here, because of all of the different countries that come together at APU. So from a person from Nepal, what can they get by coming to APU, or a student from Nepal? I think first, it's an easy way to integrate into an international community. Second, if they want to stay in Japan, you know, if they want to work in Japan, I think their language, their Japanese language will be very good when they graduate, by the time they graduate, I should say. And the third thing is, I think they get a very good education, to be honest. We are accredited by a number of international accreditation bodies and groups, and we, you know, when we meet with those accreditation people, they really like our whole philosophy. If I was in Nepal and I was looking for a place to come, obviously, you know, there's the usual suspects. They could go to Canada, where I'm from, they could go to Australia, they could go to the US, etc. But this is a really good place to come for a Nepalese student. And you have many Nepalese people in Japan. It's a big community. If you look at it from a cost point of view, you'll find that it's very cost efficient. You know, the cost of living here is not as high as in all of those other industrial countries or advanced countries.
InfoPlus, for genuine information.